what's up SRL League fans, and welcome to the season finale of the International GT3 Championship of Season 3. We got a championship fight on our hands. It's a 6-point gap between Max Mulder, the championship leader, and Samuel Brunt, and this is the final round of the season. 1.5 hours off at Zolder here in Belgium. My name is Sandro Doulis and I will be your commentator here today. I just need to set up the live stream here, so give me a short minute and I'll be right back. So I'm back. We got 9 drivers on the grid here today, and most importantly, both championship contenders are here. Samuel Brunt for Ferrari and Max Mulder for Audi. We will go through all the different kinds of championship scenarios we got on our hands here today. Like I said before, it's a 6-point gap, so everything is still possible. It's time to start. We got a 10-minute qualifying session followed by a 1.5-hour race. So that's plenty of GT3 action here at Zolder. Returning to Zolder, we raced here the season finale of Season 1 when Nick van Gelder claimed the first ever SRL League GT3 Championship. Also for Audi back then. Obviously Audi is looking good here today as well, with Max Mulder obviously leading the championship. So, but nothing is in the books yet, so this is going to be a good one. There we go. I'm really excited for this race. I hope you are as well. The tension is high under the drivers. both championship contenders Brandt and Mulder got their camps of supporters and obviously teammates that want to help them reach their goal here today, which is obviously claiming this title. An SRL League Championship is always something special. And we are in the middle of fog. Unsurprisingly, this is obviously Project Cars 2. So, yeah. I hope you guys can see something, because I can barely see anything. That means we have to rely on onboard cameras, unfortunately, here for the qualifying session. Let's hope weather for the race will be better, but this is just a common thing on Project Cars 2. Whenever you go for dynamic weather, you get something like this, because apparently it's never sunny on Project Cars. But both championship contenders, Samuel Brandt and Max Mulder, are out on the racetrack. And there they are together. Max Mulder letting Samuel Brandt through on his outlap. Samuel Brandt is making his way through the deep fog here at the Belgium racetrack. The racetrack is, as it seems like, quite cold. So here we can see Samuel Brandt warming up his tires. As Max Mulder goes past Samuel Brandt to go onto his flying lap before the Dane, and we'll hop out of Max Mulder, making his way down into turn 1. It's a little bit slower than you think it would. Run all the way onto the curb on the exit, then swift to the left hand side to go into that right hander, put the power down. This section of the racetrack is flat. Then a little lift, a little brake through this long right corner. The left-hand tires are screaming at this point. They are, at the edge of overheating. As we go into this hard braking zone through this very tricky chicane. It's really easy to spin it going over these high curbs as Max Mulder mounts that inside curb through the first section of the chicane. Over the top of this small hill going into another chicane. It's right, left, and right again. Run it on the curb here to position the car well for this long right-hander. Over another crest we go. Little flick to the left. Another braking zone for this hairpin corner. You really need to hit that apex on the inside as we go on to the last straight before the last corner. Good lap so far for Max Mulder. Hard braking zone for the final chicane. Left and right. Run it all the way onto the curb. Good exit by Mulder and onto the start finish straight. And let's see what lap time this is going to be. It's a 1 minute 32.7. That's about 76 thousandths behind Logan Orand, who's currently on provisional pole. As Samuel Brandt is exiting the pit, so something must have happened to Samuel Brandt, because he was out on the racetrack already. As he lets someone by, that's Kaz Nuchians, the Porsche driver, in his second ever SRL League start. Logan Oran currently on provisional pole. He'll play a big role. Obviously the teammate of Sandro Doulis. He's looking to help out his teammate to win this championship. Logan Oran has been on a tear here lately in the last 2 races at Oschersleben and Portimao. Winning at Oschersleben and finishing second to his teammate Brandt at Portimao. As he comes through the final corner. Jensen Randall currently sitting P4. He is the reigning SRL League International GT3 champion, but unfortunately he will lose that title here today as he's out of the running for the championship. He had a mixed season, only 2 podiums, but obviously the highlight was winning the SWAT 2.4 hours. As Samuel Brandt is going to start his first flying lap. Onto start finish straight he goes. Misses the apex on the inside there. I felt like he left a little bit too much room on the entry. Runs wide again. Doesn't seem to be happy with the setup, as so far at least. He has reported before the race that he's had a lack of practice for the last few days, so he isn't that well prepared. As for example, Max Moller has put in a lot of work in the last week or 2, preparing for this race. Obviously, it's the biggest race in his SRL career, his young SRL career. Samuel Brandt is currently catching up to the Porsche of Kers Nuchians, who is currently sitting P4. Nick van Gelder improved to P3, only about 2 tenths behind Logan Oran. Brandt and Jure Marusic currently the only 2 drivers without a lap time, but they are definitely looking to change that here soon. Sandro Doulis might get a little bit of a slipstream as Max Moller has just gone on the top of the timing charts with a 1 minute 32.2. That's 4 tenths clear of Logan Oran, so Max Moller takes provisional pole and goes into the pits. I think he's done for the session. Let's see where Brandt can put in his lap time. Nowhere. Must have been valid. Must have invalid this lap time. Sandro Doulis struggling at the moment as Kers Nuchians goes around. Gets into the way of Brandt a little bit there. On board with Logan Oran. A little bit of the rear end stepping out there through the chicane. As he comes into the middle sector. Can he answer to that lap of Max Moller? It's a brilliant lap. 32.2 in these conditions is amazing. And this is the conditions that these drivers are dealing with. You barely can see anything. Looks like Oran is still warming up his tires, so he's about to go on to a run. So go on board with Brandt again. Brandt still hasn't set a lap time. He can't afford to start P9 deep down into the field. Obviously this is an endurance race, so anything is possible, and the 9th starting position isn't something that ruins your day, but he doesn't need that. He needs a good starting position, and yeah, a win would be vital to his championship hopes. Logan Oran is in the grass. He has made a mistake in turn 1 and goes back into the pits. His session is done. Brandt, his final shot, just put in a lap time. Through turn 2. Wide, he goes wide. It's a terrible start to the lap time for Samuel Brandt. It won't be pole, I can tell you that, but At least a top 5 starting position would be so important for the Dane and for his championship hopes. Top 3 are in the pits at the moment, so no lap times are going to be set by these 3 drivers. We need to keep an eye on Jensen Randall and Cas Nuggians, by the way, though, because these 2 drivers are definitely drivers to look out for some great lap times. The session is done now, but obviously the laps that already are started can be completed. For example, Samuel Brandt's lap. This looked good. Good section there by Brandt. As he's chasing the lap time he lost through the first 3 corners of the lap. The last straight going to the final corner. So difficult to get the braking point right going through that chicane. That really tight chicane. Maybe a little wide there. Has to adjust for the second part of the chicane. Didn't look too clean, but let's see where Brandt can put his Ferrari. P6. Not even a top 5. Tough break for Brandt. Not the qualifying session he was hoping for. As Jensen Randall goes P4. Dion Stahl seems to be done with his lap as well, and that should be everybody through. So it's going to be Max Moeller on pole position, the championship leader, doing everything he needs to do. It's pole for Moeller, ahead of Logan Orant. So Samuel Brandt's teammate is in a good position to help out his teammate. His teammate, though, is not. He is starting P6 behind Nick van Gelder in 3rd and Jensen Randall and Cas Nuggians. 2 great drivers. And we got sunny conditions. So, going from all the fog and cold conditions we just had, we're going into the sunshine for this race. So, that is definitely good to see. Behind Samuel Brandt, we got Dion Stahl in the Acura. Then we got Jeremy Pope in the 2nd Porsche. And Jure Marusic starting in the 2nd Acura. He's starting from the back row. That is Marusic's first race of the GT3 season. As the drivers are currently making some last second adjustments and some strategy calls before they start this race. We will have a look at these strategy calls later on, within like the first 5 laps of the race, to see what the drivers will do with the fuel strategy. We've seen some interesting fuel calls in the last few races, especially if I think back to, I think Oschersleben it was, when Logan Rand made the alternative strategy work. These drivers have worked 6 races towards this one race. Samuel Brandt, can he claim his first ever SRL League championship? It's been over 6 years he's been racing in SRL, and he's never won one. Max Mulder, the young gun, who's had such a great progress, who's made such great progress since joining SRL over a year ago, has won so many big races. Like the 2.4 hours of Daytona, the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. He's holding the Indy 500 lap record. He's got podiums in SRL. As someone that has disconnected, I think it was Jensen Randall has disconnected, unfortunately. So we are only 8 cars on the grid. Typical project cars too. But the cars are going on through the start-finish straight now for the flying start. And it's a good jump by Logan Orant on the outside. Can he fight Max Mulder's lead going to turn 1? Max Mulder obviously on the inside. He got the preferred line and he keeps the lead. As Samuel Brandt is already up to P4 with Nick van Gelder in front of him, running 3rd. We got the 2 Porsches fighting there of Cas Nuggians and Jeremy Pope. Dion Stahl having a look down the inside of Cas Nuggians. No, that's Jeremy Pope, excuse me. But everything clean at the start. That's what we want to see. Logan Run sitting in the slipstream of Max Mulder. Going to the chicane for the first time. Can everybody make it through? Seems like it, as I think that was Leon Stahl hopping the curb there. Sandro Doulis ducks out of the slipstream of Nick van Gelder there for a second. As, oh, Max Mulder has missed the chicane. He doesn't want to do that too many times. And Logan Run has a look down the inside of Max Mulder. Side by side going through the middle sector. And Max Mulder doesn't fight too aggressively. That's clever thinking of the Dutchman. He doesn't need to fight that position too hard. But knowing him, he will fight back, but he will stick behind for now. Max Mulder just needs to keep his nose clean. He doesn't need any mistakes. He can't afford them. Second place is enough. As Jeremy Pope just had a big moment there coming out the final corner. Max Mulder looking around the outside there of Logan Orand. He has the preferred line for the second corner and he is through. Now Nick van Gelder also going down the inside of Orand. I think there was a mistake for Orand going to the first corner. Brandt just went off, I think. He's lost a little bit of time. And it's an Audi 1-2. What a start to this race. Position switches everywhere. Kaz Nuchians is now right behind Brandt. Brandt is swerving, trying to break the slipstream. This time Nick van Gelder going a little bit deep for the chicane, but there's no way you can overtake around the outside through the corner after the chicane. And this is perfect. Perfect for Max Mulder. He's leading the race and he got his teammate Nick van Gelder playing defense for him against the two Ferraris. This is on board with Logan Orand. Got a great exit coming onto the final corner there. He's in the slipstream of Van Gelder. Let's see what the straight line speed is like. Man, the Audi seems fast. I think Logan Orand wasn't getting too close to Van Gelder despite the slipstream. Max Mulder just dipped the outside tires into the gravel at the exit of turn 1. Logan Orand is there, but it's really difficult to overtake at Zolder. It's not the easiest track to make overtakes at. And it's showing. That's why those first 2 or 3 laps are so important. Max Mulder missed the chicane, goes through the gravel a little bit. I think that might be a slowdown penalty. We have to look out for those during this race. Sandro Doulis can keep with the pace at the front at the moment. He's already dropped down over a second to his teammate Logan Orand and Nick van Gelder. Logan Orand really close again. Will he look down the inside of Van Gelder going to turn 1? He will. Van Gelder shuts the door though. Great defensive driving there by Van Gelder. Van Gelder running well here, but that's been, yeah, that's happening all season for Van Gelder. He's running well at the beginning of these races, but he hasn't had a podium since the Nürburgring race at round 3. As he goes into the gravel a little bit, that will lose him some speed going onto the straight. And here comes Orand. Got the inside line going into the chicane. And Orand is through, takes a lot of curb there. That was a mistake by Van Gelder. Can Van Gaal come back? He goes down the inside through the crest kink. And around the outside for the chicane. There's contact. Oran goes into the grass. Still side by side here. This is what Max Mulder needs. And this is why it's so important to have a teammate in the race. Van Gelder is being Mulder's best friend here right now, as Logan Oran now gets the move done. As it seems like he does. But look at the gap between Max Mulder and the drivers behind. He's gapped the second place driver by over 4 seconds now. As Van Gelder has to think better of it and stays in third. And this has helped Sam Brandt and Carsten Nuchians to catch up to this battle for P2. It's a lot of work for Sam Brandt to get back into the championship position. So let's check the strategies for this race. Carsten Nuchians is having a look there on Brandt, but stays behind. So Max Mulder seems to be running a full tank of fuel. So is Logan Oran. So is Nick van Gelder as well, as Nick van Gelder rear ends Logan Oran. Wow! And Van Gelder spins off the front of Brandt. Van Gelder drops to 5th. Is there damage to Oran? And more importantly, is there damage to Brandt? Brandt goes around the... Brandt goes wide. I think there might be damage for the championship contender. There was a chain reaction because I think Logan Oran maybe braked a little early, Van Gelder a little late for the chicane. And Van Gelder just rear-ended Logan Oran. Logan Oran went wide. Max Mulder out in front still by 7 seconds now. I think Nick van Gelder then just was a little bit slow, and Brandt just got caught off guard there and hit Van Gelder into a spin. All cars continue on though, so doesn't seem to be any damage for the drivers involved. As we go for the field, looking for non-existing alternative strategies, so everybody is on the one stop. Everybody going for full tank here, as we have a look at Juro Marusic for the first time today in the second Acura, his first start of the season. Max Mulder leading by about 7 seconds. Then it's Logan Oran and Carsten Nuchians. Carsten Nuchians there running in third. He showed some great pace last time out at Portimao. He led all race long until I think it was 10 minutes to go when he, tragically almost disconnected off the race in his first ever athletic start. That was a real shame for the Dutchman. Today he's running third, so this could be a good possibility for him to score his first ever SRL League podium. Sam Brandt is dropping further behind, so is Nick van Gelder. I think these two might have suffered damage. Must have suffered damage. I mean, those were big hits. There's Nick van Gelder, who's catching up to Brandt again slowly. Brandt is now trailing his championship rival Max Molder by 14 seconds. Not the start of the race that Brandt needed or wanted, as he goes a little wide there on the curb through turn 3. Jeremy Pope in the Porsche is currently running through the gravel he is running. That's a little wide at high speed as well. I was about to say he's running about 5 seconds behind this battle. Unfortunately, we have missed what happened to the two Acuras. I think they're just lacking pace here at Zolder. That racetrack does not suit this car. And so Dion Stahl is running 41 seconds behind leader Mulder, and Juma Rusic is running over a minute behind the race leader. Talk about Max Mulder. He's almost built his gap up to 10 seconds. Could this be the day that Mulder claims his first ever SRL League championship? I think I can see... Are those raindrops on the camera lens? I think I'm seeing some. It's not like I feel surprised because, I mean, this season we've had rain basically every single race. I'm just surprised that this early. We're just 50 minutes into the race, so... Are we about to see some more excitement getting sprinkled into this event? As Nick van Gelder has just passed Sam around, unfortunately we've missed that on screen. Remember last time out at Portimao, Sam Brandt was struggling earlier on. He was far behind Max Mulder until the rain came. And when the rain came, it came a lot of rain. And it was at the end of the race, it was Sam Brandt who actually went on to win the race and keep his championship hopes alive, which was so unexpected. Because of the start of the race was just awful for Brandt, and it seems like the rain is coming. As Brandt has passed Nick van Gelder once again. Van Gelder stays right behind him. Unfortunately missed that. I was just looking down at my notes. The gap at the front for Max Mulder has shrunken a little bit again. It was almost up to 10 seconds, now it's about 8.9. So it seems like Logan Oran can go the pace of Max Mulder. Nick van Gelder staying with Brandt. As Van Gelder, both Brandt and Van Gelder dip their tires onto the dirt there for turn 3. There's a common scene, as we can now see the rain actually coming down. It's really early on. I don't think it's time for the first weather slot, so as both drivers go really quickly, really fast through the chicane. I think the 3 bullets that were on the outside are already gone, as we're only on lap 11. And if we look at the top right, as Van Gelder just takes out some cones, if we look at the top right, the gap is going down. Max Mulder now only leading by about 7.5 seconds, as they just lapped Jure Marusic. It's definitely raining. When will be the time to pit for wet tires? That's the question. I think they can go on a little longer. Usually takes some time in project cars too until the track gets wet. But when it gets wet, it gets wet quickly. Max Mulder seems to have recovered from his about 3 or 4 laps that were a little bit slower than Logan Rand. He's now built the gap back up to around 9.5 seconds. Logan Rand has turned up his windshield wiper already. Gap is now up to 10 seconds. Cas Nuchians is seemingly catching up to Logan Rand. Samuel Brandt has now put about 2 seconds on Nick van Gelder. There's Cas Nuchians. Yeah, we're on board with the Dutchman. As we can see and hear the rain coming down and hitting his windshield. He also has his windshield wiper turned on. See shifts. Little downshift for the chicane. Over the crest, going into that really technical middle sector. And into the chicane that has seen as Logan around has hit the wall in front. And he spun. I just seen him through the windshield of Cas Nuchians. I think he took too much off the curb. Went into the air, into the grass, and then hit the wall hard and went around. Is there damage to that Ferrari? Dramatic scenes for Samuel Brandt's teammate. That now promotes Cas Nuchians into 2nd place. Does Logan Oran pit? He doesn't. So it seems like the Ferrari is fine. But there was a big hit into the tire barrier. There's Nick van Gelder, who has caught up to Samuel Brandt again. Brandt is feeling the pressure in this situation. He got over an hour left, so everything is still fine, but the time is running. I think he's hoping for the wet period at this time, at this rate, because it seems like his drive pace isn't there. So he needs that equalizer. The great equalizer. Rain racing. Max Mulder has now built his lead up to around 14.5 seconds. Obviously, as Max Mulder, Nick van Gelder, excuse me, just goes around Samuel Brandt without big of a defense there from Brandt, who just seems to have let him through. Interesting. Brandt now going back down the inside of Van Gelder, though. Van Gelder closes the door, got the preferred line. Brandt stays strong on the outside as they're going side by side now, going onto the start-finish straight. They're dead even going over the line. Samuel Brandt slightly in front. He got the preferred line going to turn 1. And Nick van Gelder drops to 5th. Brandt back up to 4th again. But he remains to be really close to the rear end of the Ferrari, as he has to look around the outside of the chicane. No way he can make that move done. Thinks better of it as well. Great battle for P4 here between those two drivers, who I think both might have damage. The rain continues, and I think it's getting harder. When is the crossover point? Who will be the first driver to go into the pits for wet tires? So I'm just checking the onboards. I think Nick van Gelder has around 10 damage points on the front end of his car. Samuel Brandt got 1. So I was right, both cars are damaged, but it could be a lot worse. Fortunately, I don't have an onboard cam of Logan around, because that's really interesting as Nick van Gelder goes down the inside of Brandt, as Brandt just went wide again going through turn 3, as the grip is slowly going away from those drivers, as the rain is coming down. They're almost bobbing wheels on the straight there, as Brandt goes back into P4 again. There's a strong drive there coming out of turn 4. I was really surprised by that, but Samuel Brandt has to work on his turn 3. He seems to be running wide there every single lap, as he slightly goes into the grass there through the braking zone for the triple chicane. Max Mulder at the front. Seems to be comfortable. 17 seconds is his lead over Cas Nurians, who's running in second. Logan Rand seems to have recovered from his wall contact. Behind these three, it's Sandro Doulis, followed by Nick van Gelder. Jeremy Pope, who was being close early on in the race, seems to have dropped off a little bit. He's running around 15 seconds behind Nick van Gelder at the moment. So we go into the cockpit cam of Nick van Gelder, who's following the tracks of Sandro Doulis. Closely, that is. And the rain is getting harder and harder. No windscreen wiper so far there for Nick van Gelder. I've seen other drivers like Cas Nuggians and Logan run with the windscreen wiper on. That's interesting to see what these drivers prefer. I mean, if I would be Nick van Gelder, I think I'd probably turn on the windscreen wiper. As someone is going into the pits, I think I saw someone pitting. Ah, that's Jure Marusic. Jure Marusic goes into the pits there. And he's missing his rear wing, so there was definitely a crash for the Dutchman. So this is going to be a lengthy repair for the Acura team. As Logan Around is now right behind Cas Nuggians. That's the battle for second place, excuse me. Oh, Logan Around. Oh, that was close. I think Logan Around might have missed his braking zone there. His braking point there. Was locking up his front tires and almost... I already saw him hitting the back there of Cas Nuggians, I'm not gonna lie. And Logan Around is now right there. Logan Around looks down the inside of Nuggians into turn 1. Nuggians has to stick back. There's no grip there on the outside, especially in those damp conditions. As the track gets wetter, Jure Marusic just exited the pits. He's now 2 laps down after his crash that we unfortunately didn't catch on cam. As we're approaching the 1 hour mark. Nick van Gelder about a second behind Brandt. So these two really can't be separated, as it seems like. And we got 1 hour to go. 1 hour to go here in the 1.5 hours of Zolder, the season finale. The last racing hour of the season. We got so many questions that are yet to be answered. Can Max Mulder claim his first SRL League Championship? As Cas Nuggians is the first one to pit. Will the rain take over? I think this is a pit stop for wet tires. He got enough fuel in his car to make it to the end. So this might be the first driver to go into the wet tires. As Nick van Gelder is now right behind Sandro Doulis, we can see the rain coming down harder and harder. Max Mulder has built up his lead to 20 seconds. He's doing everything he needs to do to win this championship. He's in perfect position. You can see spray coming up from the rear tires of these cars. So the track is wet. I don't know if slicks will be fine for much longer, as Brandt missed the chicane. Nick van Gelder goes for the switchback. Can he compromise on this mistake by Brandt? They're rubbing wheels going over the crest. Van Gelder goes around the outside of Samuel Brandt. There's contact as Nick van Gelder spins into the gravel. Can he keep it rolling? Can he make his way out of the gravel? He can. There was some really hard racing there. And I really don't know if I want to blame Brandt on this one. But it looked like it was more of the fault of the Dane. But I'm not going to say anything. There was some hard racing and things like that just can happen. And it's the second time Nick van Gelder has saw himself in the gravel there today. Brandt stays out for now. Max Mulder, race leader, has gone into the pits, so he's going for the wet tires. Logan Rund has stayed out. Nick van Gelder is in the pits as well. So both Audis going for the wet tires. This is crucial. Crucial in this race. Is it too early that Max Mulder might have made a costly mistake? Jeremy Pope pits as well. There's the American. One of two Americans on the grid today. That is Logan Rund. His last lap time was a 37.4. Yet to see what Cas Nurians can do on the wet tires, but Logan Rund pits as well. Will Brandt pit? That's the big question. I mean, Brandt needs to take risks. He needs that championship. He needs a win. But he does the only thing. Yeah, that's really working in these conditions, which is going for wets, I think. Let's see if Cas Nurians can make the undercut work. I mean, he was the first driver to go into the wet tires. And it seemed wet enough for the wets to work. Here's Max Mulder coming out of the final corner. He's about to take his lead again. Logan Rund got going again. And Max Mulder goes into the lead now. I think his lead has shrunken a little bit though. It was 20 seconds before the pit stop. Let's see. And there's Logan Rund already. That's definitely less than 20 seconds. Cas Nurians goes by Samuel Brandt as well. That's only 6 seconds between Max Mulder and Logan Rund. So I think either there was a really poor outlap by Max Mulder, or he might have taken more fuel. Let's quickly fact this on the fuel. We got 73 liters for Logan Rund, and we got 116 for Mulder. So Mulder took more fuel. So he was fine compromising his race lead and taking more fuel. Let's see if this will, if this will work out on the long run. No, those are Samuel Brandt conditions. if we look back at Portimao, when the rain came, it was Brand time. Brand recovered from a terrible start to the race and ultimately went on to win the race. Can he run it back today and do the exact same thing again? He needs to run it back today. He needs that race win to win this championship. That is Cas Nurians in third. He's a driver as well who's brilliant in the wet conditions. He's currently the fastest car on track. If we look at the last lap times, he just ran a 39 flat. Next quickest is Nick van Gelder, who ran around 1 second slower than the Dutchman. "52 minutes to go." A little bit of a correction there midway through the last chicane by Nurians. Last time out it was Max Mulder was the fastest car on the racetrack. Around 3/10 quicker than P2, which is Logan Arand, which is surprising. Remember, Max Mulder is running around 40 liters more than the American. Nick van Gelder running around 15 seconds behind Brandt after that spin into the gravel after contact with the Ferrari driver. Can he recover? He's currently really quick. Last lap was a 39.6. That's the fastest lap out of everybody. Oh, when he goes for a spin. He took too much of the outside curb. I mean, Van Gelder was pushing hard after that spin. He needed to catch back up to Brandt, but that mistake will drop him further behind. It's just that cycle happens all the time. If you get into a mistake, into an incident, then you just push as hard as you possibly can to make that lost time back up, and that just forces more mistakes and more spins, especially in wet conditions. We just lost somebody. That was Jeremy Pope, who's retired of the session. So we're down to 7 runners now. Pope was running P6 before this. As Marusic pits for the second time today. There he is. Number 136 Acura. There's his crew waiting for him. New set of tires already there. Here's Brandt. He's currently trailing his championship rival Mulder by 20 seconds. Marusic spins out. There he is. Keeps it rolling there. Just about touches the wall. Flick spins it back into the right direction and gets going again. I mean, this is a tough situation for Marusic. His first race back in the championship since last season. Last race Marusic racing was season 2 at Imola, so it's been quite a while. And just as he misses the chicane as well, and just being thrown into these catastrophic wet conditions, it's a really difficult task for the Dutchman. He's doing a good job though, and he got points secured, so he's running 7th. Only 7 drivers are left in this race, so he will definitely score 2 points minimum. As he goes off into the grass, as Dion Starless teammate spins out as well, as was just going to lap him. Whoa, close call there with, I think, Sam Runt, yeah. Starters back on the racetrack as well. Marusic really struggling as he goes for a gravel. I just saw him clip the outside grass going into the chicane, and he goes for another spin. Meanwhile, Logan Arand has closed the lead down to 5.5 seconds. Max Mulder's last lap was around 1.5 seconds slower than Logan Arand's lap. So this says a lot. It's down under 5 seconds now. I mean, I know Max Mulder, and I know he wants to win races. That's his most important goal. He wants to win races. But in this situation, if Logan Arand catches up to him, which, I mean, doesn't look too unrealistic at the moment, I would just let him through. But Max Mulder is a young gun. He wants to claim victories. He wants his 3rd victory of the season, and I really don't think he will give up this victory without a fight. He really got that young driver's mentality of winning races. I want to win races, and even if the cleverest thing would probably be to let Logan run through, because you have to think big picture, and the big picture is winning the championship, I think he still wants to fight back. And I think Sam Brandt might have just spun. Brandt is pitting. Oh, look at the front end of the Ferrari. Brandt has made major contact with the barrier. Oh dear, oh dear. And he stops. I think it's over. I think it might be over. The championship dream is fading for the Dane. And Max Mulder leading the race. He doesn't know this is happening, but this might be the moment he claims a championship. Brandt is stopped in the pit lane. What has happened to the Ferrari driver? There he is. He got back going again. He got major front end damage. He must have spun. And he parks it in the pits. This will be a lengthy repair. Oh dear, oh dear. With 44 minutes to go. Disaster strikes for Samuel Brandt. And this is the championship over. Max Mulder is your Season 3 SRL League champion. Not officially yet, but it's looking like it. Brandt has got going again. I don't think he repaired the damage. I think he just went out. Going to have a look at his onboard to see what happened there. He's back out on the racetrack. Over almost 2 minutes behind race leader Max Mulder. And he got a major front end damage. As it plows through the pylons. Still trying to figure out what happened to Brandt. Currently watching back his live POV. Oh wow, okay. He made major contact with the barrier. He got onto the wet curb, got stuck on it basically, and then went straight into the tire barrier in the middle of sector 2 it was, I think. Oh wow, what a disaster for Brandt. And I just said Max Mulder is your champion. Obviously it's not over yet, but I can't see how Brandt turns this one around. As he goes into the gravel as well. I mean, the cars are probably undrivable at this point. Max Mulder leading by 5 seconds now. Yuri Malusic just making his 3rd pit stop. Summer Run's last lap was at 2 minutes 33. Let's see what this lap time will be to see how bad damage really is. It's a 43, that's around 2 seconds slower than Mulder. I mean, it's handleable, it seems like. Brandt just about to exit chicane there. It was a close call. So with just about under 40 minutes to go in this race, it seems to be done. It seems to be over with, and I'm not trying to curse anybody here, because we know that nothing is over until you see the checkered flag, obviously. But it's definitely looking like Max Moeller could claim his maiden SRL League title here today. It's obviously not the F1 championship, obviously the most prestige championship, but the SRL League title is an SRL League title. Can he add that championship to his resume? Got an 11-second lead as he's just coming to lap his teammate Nick van Gelder. I think that is Van Gelder, yeah it is. There should be no issue. I don't understand that. Van Gelder should just let him through. Moeller's still behind his teammate Van Gelder. Van Gelder doesn't want to let him by. Obviously, this is endurance racing. There's no such thing as blue flags. Obviously, in the wet, it's even worse following a car because you got all that water up in the air that you have to deal with. The visibility is not what you are looking at. It's not what you're looking for. Excuse me. Moeller has been behind Van Gelder for a lap now, but Logan Around has dropped further behind. I think there was a mistake on the last lap by Logan Around as he's lost around 6 seconds last lap, so there must have been a spin. Cas Nugrians running third at the moment, over a minute ahead of Nick van Gelder, so his podium seems to be secured with over half an hour to go. Dutchman joined before the Portimao race and has been more than impressive in his 2 starts here in the SRL League International GT3 Championship. Obviously the winner of the hearts at Portimao when he led almost all race long until around 10 minutes to go when he unfortunately disconnected off the session and lost the victory in heartbreaking fashion. If he brings home the podium today, that would be at least something to salvage out the season. I mean, 1 podium out of 2 races is nothing to not celebrate. And I mean, after last race, obviously having to leave Portimao with empty hands, unfortunately, I think this will be something that Kasnurians would take all day. And we still got over half an hour to go, and the gap's only 20 seconds. We know how quick Kasnurians is in wet conditions if we look back at Portimao, so nothing is over just yet. Durians in the gravel. That in front was, I think, somewhere around in the gravel now. As Durians is now in third place at the moment. I think you can hear some tire spin in the background, so there must have been a spin. I can't see someone losing a lot of time though at the moment. It is Juro Marusic. As he goes for a little spin there. Makes his way through the gravel trap and back on the racetrack. That is Logan around, about to lap Nick van Gelder. Those two have seen each other before early in the race, and there's some payback, I think, as Logan around moves van Gelder out of the way. Obviously remember the start of the race when both of these drivers have made contact. As Around now laps Nick van Gelder safely. Despite that little bit of contact there between Logan Orand and Nick van Gelder, Orand's last lap was the fastest lap out of anyone, and it was, most importantly, 1.2 seconds quicker than Max Mulder. And I've been looking at this closely. Max Mulder's lead has come down to just over 4 seconds, so it's getting exciting again here, coming towards the end of the race. Not for the championship, but definitely for the race win. It's under 3 seconds now. The gap between Logan Arendt and Max Mulder, and Max Mulder's last. Max Mulder has hit someone. There's contact. Logan Arendt goes into the wall. What just happened? Logan Arendt gets going again. And here comes Kaz Nuchians. That is Brandt who goes wide. Was that Samuel Brandt? They were lapping? Max Mulder definitely just approached someone and hit him. Someone was right in the way of the leader, Max Mulder. Then Logan Arendt, who just got passed by Kaz Nuchians because of the major front end damage there, as we can see. Dramatic scenes here at Zolder. I think it was over, and suddenly there's this huge chaos in the middle sector. Just quickly gotta watch back some footage to see what exactly happened there, but really interesting. I think, yeah, that's definitely Logan Arendt pitting. He hit the tire barrier really hard. Max Mulder also got major front end damage. He got 40 front end damage at the moment. Logan Arendt goes into pits for the repairs. And it was Jura Marusic who was in the middle of the racetrack, facing the wrong direction. And obviously it was over when coming over the crest, so there was no way Max Mulder could see Jura Marusic. Wow. So Logan Arendt is still in the pits for repairs. Kaz Nuchians is now trailing Max Mulder by 7 seconds. And I was just talking about this is not over yet. Kaz Nuchians is only 20 seconds behind the leaders. Look at this. He's now got a car that is running well, is not damaged, and he's running 7 seconds behind the leader who got a banged up car. Max Mulder has to pit. Max Mulder is pitting for repairs. Look at this. I was about to say, he got like about 40 front end damage. This is getting spicy. I mean, it obviously depends on how long this repair is going to take, but I'm pretty sure he will stay ahead of Samuel Brandt, and I think the championship is in dry towels at this point. But he's going to lose the race win. This is not what Mulder wanted. But this was Kaz Nuchians into the lead, and it's kind of funny. I was talking about him like 10 minutes ago, and now he's leading. As he goes into the gravel. Could this be redemption for Portimao? Von Sven Heugden in the live chat saying great weather conditions. Yeah, mate, but that's typical Project Cars weather for you. So Kaz Nuchians, with just over 23 minutes to go, is leading by half a minute ahead of Max Mulder, who just exits the pits, who's leading 10 seconds ahead of Logan Arendt. Both of these drivers had to just pit for repairs after the crash. When they came over the crest in the middle sector and saw Jura Marusic facing the wrong direction, the lap car of Marusic was currently in the pits as well for repairs. He's many laps down at this point. And just think about what could have been if Samuel Brandt did not make that mistakes around 15 minutes ago. He would have been in the comfort seat to win this championship after that crash that we just witnessed. let's have a look quickly at the timetable. As we can see that Dion Stahl got 5 seconds worth of time penalties and Samuel Brandt got 11 seconds worth of time penalties. Everybody else is without penalties at this point. Jura Marusic trailing by around 8 laps after he's had to make many pit stops. I mean, I don't know if you want to blame Jura Marusic for that crash. I mean, if you spin coming over the crest, it's really difficult to get out of the way. Obviously, he was facing the wrong direction, and if you come over the crest, you're basically blind. You can't see the cars, being struck in the middle of the racetrack. So yeah, just I think a fortunate situation there for Mulder, Logan Orant, and Jura Marusic, who all got involved in that crash. So Logan Orant goes for a slide there on the exit of the second part of the triple chicane. It's just crazy to think about that, despite just being involved in that massive wreck, Max Mulder is probably still going to end up finishing second here. And that would complete an entire season for Max Mulder of scoring podiums. He has not finished outside the podium positions a single time this season. Incredible. What a stat line that is. But also we gotta appreciate Samuel Brandt, the veteran. He's been here in SRL since the first day. And I mean, he's had a great season as well. 2 race wins, 5 podium finishes. There's nothing to be shy about, and he's put in a fantastic season. Obviously, after not racing last season, he was in my place. Up here in the booth doing commentary. Nick van Gelder is catching up to Brandt now, only 3 seconds the gap, as van Gelder is looking to claim P4. Brandt gets a little squirrely there on the exit of the chicane. But yeah, as I said before, just because he's not had the race he wanted, it doesn't mean that Samuel Brandt has not put together a fantastic season. Both these cars are damaged, Brandt and Nick van Gelder. Nick van Gelder since the beginning of the race, and Samuel Brandt just recently obviously got involved in that crash. Up on board here with Nick van Gelder, following the Ferrari of Samuel Brandt. You have to keep an eye as well on the battle for P2, as Max Mulder and Logan Arand are getting closer and closer. Brand's lap, excuse me, Oran's lap around 1.5 seconds quicker last time out. As Van Gelder is right in the slipstream of Samuel Brandt, closes down for the chicane. Both hop over the curb. Just see how blind it is coming over this crest. And that, in my opinion, is what caused that incident around 10 minutes ago. And Van Gelder spins. Third time today. Second time on the exit of that chicane. And that should be P4 gone for him. Here's Max Mulder. He's getting caught up by Logan Arand at the moment. As Mulder hops the curb, he seems to be struggling ever since he had to make that unscheduled pit stop for damage repairs. His pace hasn't quite been the same. Last lap was around 3 seconds slower than the American Logan Arand right behind him. We might get a battle here towards the end. I don't know if that's what Max Mulder really wants. He's just trying to get to the finish line at this point. As Cas Nurians in front is just cruising towards a victory. Hopefully his internet connection stays stable towards the end. After the race at Portimao, he said that this has never happened to him before, so hopefully that was just a one-time issue. It's Leon Starr, who really didn't have the season he wanted as someone that spun in front. I think that's Logan Arand. The American was pushing too hard, catching up to P2. And that should settle the podium places. Yeah, that spin just put 10 seconds between Max Mulder and Logan Orand. Yeah, I was just going to say that Dylan Stahl, who is usually a championship contender in these GT3 championships, he's absolutely brilliant in a sports car, didn't really have the season he wanted. The Acura, unfortunately, being extremely uncompetitive season. I mean, I had to experience this myself for the first 5 races. 4 races, I think it was. A weird drop-off between last season and this season for the Acura team. And yeah, that really didn't help drivers like Dion Stahl or even myself challenging for wins this year. It will be definitely a change in manufacturers for Dion Stahl going into next year. We'll be interested to see what team the Quick Dutchman goes to. But it's safe to say we got a great season in our hands again for next year, with hopefully another championship fight in the final race of the season. That is Juma Rusic going 9 laps down. Under 10 minutes to go. There's Nick van Gelder, who I think just went for a spin. As he goes a lap down to Max Mulder. Whoa, as Max Mulder goes wide through the chicane, hops the curb. Oh, Mulder very wide on the exit of turn 1. Kaz Nurians is taking cruising very seriously, as he is around 2 seconds slower lap than Max Mulder at the moment, but he can afford to be, because he's still leading by almost 20 seconds. No unnecessary risk for the Dutchman. As he spins! Oh, I'm so sorry, I just cursed him. Max Zolder, can he compromise on that? There's still a chance for Max Zolder to actually win this race. There's Nuchians back on track. Lead is down to 14 seconds. 7 minutes to go. That's around 5 laps. 4 laps maybe even. Probably 4. Cas Nuchian's last lap was a 52.5, so lost about 6 seconds. Marusic just went in for his... I don't know, I lost count how many pit stops Marusic has made in this race. Zolder hops and jumps the curb once again. He's done it so many times in this race. Takes it really slow and easy through the chicane. This chicane at least. Cas Nuchians is currently on his 50th lap of the race leader. The rear end comes around there on Mulder on the entry of the final chicane, but he keeps it easy, keeps it straight, and is still going strong here. Currently running P2, just around 2 laps, maybe 3, away from his title. Oh, Mulder goes off and hits the wall. Wow. Shouldn't be too bad of damage there. But his heart must have dropped. Oh, Jesus. Hops the curb again. He got hooked on the outside curb there, and as soon as you're in the gravel, there's absolutely no grip, and he just fell victim to that. This Audi seems to be fine though. Good quality by the Audi Sport parts. Cas Nuchians just crossed the line, so that must be 2 laps to go for the race leader and 2 laps to go for everybody else as well. In all of the drama, Samuel Brown is actually only 50 seconds behind the race leader and only 14 seconds behind a possible podium. It's just crazy to think about. If you remember, like 30 minutes ago, his race was basically over when he had that big hit into the tire barrier as Max Zolder misses the chicane for the millionth of times. I can't say he's gaining any time doing that. He's just missing the braking point. And hopping over those curbs really upsets the car, so... Nurians is coming into the final corner now. We've got one lap to go. Starting his 53rd and final lap of the race. And so is Max Zolder. Sitting 11 seconds behind Nurians. Nurians has made a mistake last lap as well. Whoa. Big moment there for Zolder. But he's about to have a much bigger moment than that little slide, because he is going to claim an SRL League Championship. There's Nurians over the crest for a final time. As Dion Stahl and Nick van Gelder in a fierce battle. I did not see that coming at all. Dion Stahl going past Nick van Gelder. Dion Stahl letting him through though again because he just went straight for the chicane. But we're going to watch Nurians. Kudos for Nurians. It's going to be redemption for last time out at Portimao when he obviously disconnected, and it was a sure victory for the Dutchman. He's going to claim his first ever SRL League win in the second start. But we need to watch the champion, Max Zolder. There he is. Nurians wins. But it's Max Zolder flicking the lights. What a season it's been for the young Dutchman. I think he wants to finish side by side with Nick van Gelder there. What a season it's been for the young Dutchman. A season without a single finish out of the top 3. All the hours of practice and the hard work he put in is going to pay off today. Max Zolder is your SRL League International GT3 champion. Congratulations. What a fantastic job by the young Dutchman. Logan Ron takes P3. And unfortunately beaten today, Samuel Brandt in P4. And they are the donuts that everybody was looking forward to see. Max Zolder, an SRL League champion. Congratulations. And there are your results. As Nurians winning the 1.5 hours at Zolder, ahead of SRL League champion Max Zolder. Then it's Logan Arendt, Samuel Brandt in 4th. Wasn't enough for him today. Then it's Nick van Gelder 5th, Dion Stahl 6th. Jurma Vucic finishes 11 laps down at 7th. Then it's Jeremy Pope not finishing the race, and Jensen Randall not being able to start the race. So yeah, and that's it of season 3 of the International SRL League GT3 Championship. It's been a pleasure being up here in the booth, commentating for you guys, especially the second half of the season, as unfortunately Scott Sandover couldn't make the second half of the season. Obviously next season I hope to be back in the car, racing on the racetrack, but it's been fun seeing the race from outside perspective as well. Yeah, congratulations to Max Mulder for claiming the title. You guys can check out the links in the description to find the SRL League Instagram account to be updated with all news all around the SRL League world 24/7. We are there for you. Also check out the SRL League website. It's also linked down below in the description. Leave a like if you enjoyed this race. Leave a like if you enjoyed the season. Subscribe to the channel to see more SRL League content. We got 3 more races this season coming up, with obviously the last 2 F1 races. Next week we are back at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix at 1 PM UK time, and then we'll come to Brazil, the finale at Sao Paulo. So definitely looking forward to that. And then at the end of the month, in June actually, we are here for the prestigious Indy 500, so definitely looking forward to that. I've been Sandro. I hope you enjoyed today's coverage, and I'll see you next time out. Bye bye.